This is Dr. Raju, pleased to be taking part in this very important program being hosted by Guide School of Pharmacy in association with Center for Skill Development. I really appreciate both the organizations, Guide School of Pharmacy and Center for Skill Development, for their keen motto to develop the culture of startup and entrepreneurship activities to create a kind of the better ecosystem in the organizations, as well as to properly sensitize the academic fraternity, both the faculty as well as students. I thank the Center for Skill Development for making me to be an active part in these kind of activities. As I told, achieving problem solution fit and product market fit. This is the topic for discussion. So this is how, in fact, my talk will go on. And of course, we can call it as the purpose and relevance of this topic. Pharma sector. I need not have to tell you anything regarding this pharma sector. But for the benefit of others, we should specify the importance of pharma sector. The pharmaceutical industry is one of the foremost and vital areas which really drives the economy of the entire globe as well as India. Like it services the products like the designing and development of vaccines, medicines, drugs as a whole and customized as really impacting a lot. They really pacify the disorders of the human beings, and they will develop the better health sustainment of the public, which is very important. Of course, it another way also a kind of economy sustainment of the public. So this is how the pharma industry is playing a very vital role as far as the societal sustainment as well as economic development is concerned. Most fortunately or unfortunately, I must say that and before 2019 or even a better bit earlier, some of these sectors must not have known the importance of this pharmaceutical industry as far as their influence on the society and their economic influence is concerned. But thing is, once the code started in 2019, everybody was able to know how the pharmaceutical industry is influencing the entire humankind as well as the economy of the globe. The development of the vaccines, the products like medicines, everything has come in very short way because of the innovative research in the pharmaceutical industry. That is how now, of course, and I feel that not even 1% people are unaware of the importance of the pharmaceutical industry. And like now, in fact, after this COVID scenario, the pharmaceutical industry's responsibilities as well as the influences have become still better even when compared to the earlier days. And thing is, not only in the entire globe, even if you look at this kind of Indian scenario, Indian pharmaceutical sector almost standing at second state as well as the world pharmaceutical economic growth is concerned. So really it is a very wonderful aspect that the pharmaceutical industry is having its excellent influence on the society. Coming for the startup and entrepreneurship scenario. Let us say, for example, now the startups and converting these startups into the business models and creating entrepreneurial ecosystem. These are the very important buzzes now in India. Because now India is focusing more on standing on its own and sustaining on its own. That means instead of having a culture of getting inputs, we will have more exports so that the economy will be enhanced. So if at this particular present moment, if you look at the startup scenario in India, India is standing almost a third after US and China. Now, in the recent years, for the last years, even it is crossing China also. And that is the status of startup scenario in India. And of course, as far as pharmaceutical startup units are concerned, it is standing at global market in second stage. So that is the state of India as well as Indian pharmaceutical industries as far as the startup scenario is concerned. So of course, by 2030, we may reach the statistical levels of US even as far as our startup and entrepreneurship activities are concerned. So this is the startup scenario in India, and of course the pharmaceutical startup scenario in the global market. Next, ecosystem development in higher educational institutes. This is very, very important. Everyone knows the higher educational institutions are the prime organizations where the absolute creation and dissemination of knowledge will take place. Unless we have focused on the creation of ecosystem at the educational institutes itself, it's not possible to promote the culture of startups and entrepreneurship activities among the youth. So we need to have a discussion on how, in fact, we can promote this ecosystem in HES, like higher educational institutions. Next, achieving problem. That means if you want to start a startup, which may be converted to the business model, something like, we need to identify the specific problem. That means we need to achieve a problem. And unless we have a specific problem, our activities will go into dark. That is why we need to have a specific problem on which we should absolutely focus. Yes, problem in the sense, maybe some disorder, any kind of disease, where in fact the public in the society are really facing the problem. And once we identify the problem, we try to develop and design the medicines, the proper drugs or vaccines, whatever we require to really pacify that kind of problem. That means whatever the solution, whatever the developed product we have, whether it is really fitting to this particular issue or not, that is solution fit. And once your solution is solved, then that particular solution by means of the product, like any medicine or drug, whatever it may be, it should be best suited in market. Like, because no one will have their own startups, no one will be an entrepreneur unless there is a kind of economic constraints. So whatever we have, a kind of what you call this kind of a medicine or drug, whatever the thing, whatever the solution we have, it should provide us economy. Economy in the sense, once it is giving an economy, it is an economic development for us and of course to the society, to the nation. So unless this particular product, whatever the medicine or drug we developed here, is not exactly fitting in the market, that means market viability, if it is not there, then obviously we cannot say that our solution or product, whatever we develop, is not market fit. So the thing is to develop the economic grounds and to make sure that our startups or entrepreneurships are being the best business models. Whatever we develop this product should be the best market fit. So these are the things, in fact, we are going to discuss in this particular talk. Yes. Let us see here the fundamental purpose of startups and entrepreneurship. Three important constraints are highly involved here. The first one is social impact. How you can say that social impact? Whatever we have designed a product, like any medicine or drug, whatever it may be, it will have huge influence on the society. The best example, the COVID-19. So let us forget about other things. So many developments are there in pharmaceutical industry. Very recent aspect, just for simple example. So it was a huge issue in the entire world, entire globe. That particular COVID, almost all the sectors were damaged because of this COVID. It was a huge problem. It was a huge impact, not only on this kind of what you call economic grounds and all. First of all, the sustainment of the human beings. So immediately, because of the research and innovation aspects, the greater influences in the pharmaceutical laboratories and all, we developed beautiful vaccines. Even India stood its own stand, like it has become a kind of global leader because of this kind of pharmaceutical activities during that COVID-19 pandemic. So they developed beautiful vaccines, and of course, the subsequent medicines and all. And COVID, it was having a lot of the post effects also. Even for that also, there was huge research, there was huge development of the products to get the best sustainment of health among the public. So like that, if you have any problem, and if you have identified a kind of suitable problem, so with that particular suitable problem, if you have a startup, and if you are able to convert it to the business model, or it's a kind of entrepreneurship, then it will have a lot of social impact. The next one is economic growth. These startups and entrepreneurs, instead of seeking for jobs, they will provide jobs. So huge people will get a lot of economy. Apart from that, a lot of exports and other commercial activities will involve in this particular thing. So obviously, the tax payments, everything will come under here. So there will be a better growth of economy in the nation. And of course, the globe. The third one, it has a lot of strategic values. So all the strategic values will have huge impact on the future aspects of this kind of entrepreneurs. So these are the three important constraints which we should really recognize, that the getting a startup or being an entrepreneur will have social impact and will have economic growth, and it adds a lot of strategic value. This is the very, very important purpose of having startups. Okay, why in fact we need to promote these entrepreneurship activities in higher education institutions? In other words, it's a kind of ecosystem development in higher education institutions. As I already mentioned at the beginning itself, higher education institutions are the real learning zones. That means we have excellent academicians by means of faculty. The students are very wise. A lot of discussions will go on by theoretical aspects and of course in laboratories. So a lot of knowledge will be created, and a lot of knowledge will be disseminated also. So if you can properly use these real learning zones, which are nothing but our higher education institutions, our purpose of developing this kind of entrepreneurial activities or startup units in the country will become so easy. So here are two important aspects, let me to express. First thing is student perspective. If you look at the student's perspective, there are two things. One way, may become entrepreneurs or may become entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs in the sense, many of the students, they will have their dream to become employees in their dream companies. So because they will, entrepreneurs, why I'm using this word, they will be highly dedicated. Once they get selected in a company or an industry, they will work with a lot of dedication and commitment, and they feel that their responsibility, they feel that that particular industry where they're working is really of their own. Like that, they will work. And in the other option is they may become entrepreneurs. They can start their startups. They can have excellent, develop, design beautiful business models. They can become excellent entrepreneurs. But thing is here, if you look at this particular parents' perspective, mostly almost 95% of the parents, they feel that their wards must be in safe mode, like maybe 9 to 5 jobs, very comfortable. They may not be in a position to pay risk. Why to pay risk unnecessarily? Whether we are going to be successful or not. So let us go for let us go for jobs. Something like that. The parents will sensitize the students, and that is the reason. That is one of the reasons. Only even 5% or less than 5% of the students are coming out of the organizations, and they are become entrepreneurs. So I don't say that this is wrong with the parents, but only thing is we need to focus how best they can pacify their doubts and how best they can be successful even in this kind of development of entrepreneurship culture. So that is the responsibility rests on the shoulders of educational institutions. Yeah, this proper sensitization, how we can focus, as everyone knows, necessity is mother of invention. In the similar lines, we should sensitize the student fraternity that challenges are origin for innovations. Once we are able to develop an attitude of innovation among the students, and it is the first step or the prime step to make them to ensure that they will also choose the area of entrepreneurship. So this proper sensitization that the students must be in a position to accept the challenges. Once they are in a position to accept the challenges, they will try to become the better innovators. Better innovations will be leading to the better entrepreneurs. This is very, very important aspect. And coming for this, another important thing is we should also focus and we should also sensitize in such a way that the economic growth has two important special factors, like innovations, first one. The second one, intellectual property rights. If you are innovative and if you are having a kind of innovative ideas which are economically viable, then we can protect our intellectual property rights like IPRs. Then there is a huge economic growth which is highly sustainable and everlasting economy. So these two important things we need to focus among the students. Yes. Next important thing is the labs are the sources to provide the best services to the market. Why in fact I am calling, of course, in theory classrooms also a lot of discussions will be going on. But once we go to the lab, a lot of work will be going on. We will be working on the regular practice experiments and the designing experiments and research experiments. So many experiments will go on. So here we will try to develop some new additions to the existing medicines or drugs, something like that. So like that, these are all nothing but once we create a kind of ecosystem, the labs, like the designing the new kind of experiments and designing the research kind of experiments, then all these experiments will provide us huge knowledge which can be transferred to the market. How we can transfer to the market? There are three ways. First thing is, whatever the technology or whatever the methodology we use to develop any kind of medicine or drug, or in addition to the existing drug or medicine, that can be transferred to the market. Next one, we can try to obtain licenses for this, or you can sell them to any kind of a proper and systematic organization so that you will get a royalty. So like that, by using the technology transfer, by using the licenses, by the royalty arrangements, and whatever the developed content in the laboratories that can be transferred to the market, and we can have a better economic growth. Or else, whatever we developed in the laboratory, that may be used to have a kind of a startup. These startups will be slowly leading to entrepreneurship cells, and they can also lead us to new venture creation units. They will definitely be better business models. Some of the focus areas, of course, because being the pharmaceutical people and pharmaceutical domain students, you will have more focus on health. Apart from that, there are so many aspects like agriculture, environment, food safety, e-commerce, automation. There are so many areas, absolutely, how we can transfer the knowledge to the market. These are all just examples, but our focus is only onto the development of this kind of new innovative methodologies in the pharmaceutical sector and the health domain. These are some possible suggestions to develop the ecosystem in HES. We should believe the fact that the students and faculty are reservoirs for entrepreneurship activities. Everyone should believe this. We are reservoirs for these entrepreneurship activities. Our entrepreneur skills, everyone is having skill. So we should believe that they are the reservoirs of the skills, and we should sensitize them that they are capable to become the better entrepreneurs. And in our institutions, we need to develop or we need to design a suitable policies which can be easily accustomed by all the students or the teachers. Next one, in teaching pedagogy, we need to promote more experiential learning than the rote learning. That is very, very important aspect. Next, the institutions must have a culture of getting better mentorship from the centers of excellences. We have so many organizations, and of course now the digital mode, the online mode has become very user friendly. So we can get the experts from the entire globe, from anywhere in the globe. So that if you can use this in a better way, if you are able to have the better mentoring from the different parts like industries, R&D organizations, academic organizations, which are really proven as center of excellence, then the students will be better motivated. So this kind of collaboration must be existed in organizations. Next, we need to continually promote the activities like ECEL, and we need to organize the hackathons. Like ECEL, this is very important so that it can connect the students from the different organizations. So different organizations will connect via this kind of ECEL. The students can transfer their knowledge, and one can easily adjust to this kind of what we actually need as far as this kind of startup ecosystem is concerned. Next, in institutions, we should try to facilitate more interactive sessions, or of course, still better, more visits with industrial experts or venture capitalists, and of course, funding agencies. Visiting to industries sometimes may not be possible. Visiting to funding agencies for all the students is not possible, but we can have interactive sessions. Venture capitalists, they are very much pleased because they're all having this kind of better mindset, because they're all entrepreneurs. They will be pleased to visit the organizations, and they will be pleased to interact with the students. And these kind of things, once we can promote in the organizations, it will help a lot to develop the ecosystem. And next, faculty-led entrepreneurial and commercialization. This is very important. Faculty members should take lead as far as the entrepreneurial activities are concerned, and they should make the students to know how in fact we can commercialize their products, their designed drugs or medicines, whatever it may be. once they start in their particular organization. So once the faculty try to lead, and they will be the best ambassadors for their students, the students will take this kind of advantage to ensure that they have a lot of guiding force in their organizations. Next, alumni supported startup ecosystem. That means whatever this kind of ecosystem, we need to involve our old students, because some of the old students, definitely they must have been entrepreneurs. Their experiences and their knowledge sharing with the existing students is highly useful, which will better accelerator as far as this development of ecosystem is concerned. Next one, we need to have innovation centers in the institutions, or hosting innovation centers, or idea incubations. That means if everybody, we should encourage the students to incubate their ideas. And if you have this kind of innovation centers, these innovation centers may be extended to the students of other organizations also. So these kind of centers or incubation units in the organization will really lead the better ecosystem in the organization. And next, designing local innovation clusters. Local innovation clusters, these are different when compared to our innovation centers in organization. So we should specify some sort of nearby areas. And of course, it is a challenging issue. We should try to have a kind of cluster so that a central point where many students from many organizations or some students from different organizations will come over there. They will become members in that particular cluster. The faculty members can also be the members in that cluster, so that that can be converted as a kind of local innovative cluster. This local innovative cluster should identify the problems in the nearby areas, and they should try to design the solution for these problems. So it is outside the campus, and of course we use the technology or services from the organization. But once we initiate this kind of innovation clusters in outside the campus, in particular in rural areas and all, it will be an excellent thing to develop a kind of startup ecosystem. So these are all the different kinds of possible solutions, possible suggestions by which in fact we can enhance or develop the best ecosystem as far as entrepreneurship activities are concerned in our organizations. Yes, another important thing is we need to augment design thinking approach. Design thinking approach in the sense, first of all, we need to identify their local real problems. Everywhere there will be problems. Everyone may be having some sort of problem. Let us say, for example, the students will be coming from different areas. In their own village, they may be having some problem, like health results. Let us say, for example, because of water contamination, some people in some areas, they will be having some disease. Because of other contamination or deforestation, some kind of diseases. Like that, everywhere we can identify some sort of problems. So first of all, we need to really identify what exactly the people are facing the problem. Next, we should see what are the real causes for these problems. That's what we call as root cause analysis. Root cause analysis is very, very important. How these problems are being happening, why the people are facing these problems. That is the next step. Next one, ideate. Okay, these are the reasons for which the students are of course, the public are facing the problems, health issues. How can we solve this kind of health issue? So we need to ideate. We need to have a kind of brainstorming sessions among our students and faculty. So if you can clearly ideate, then you will get a lot of solutions, lot of ideas. So best ideas, some among these ideas will really suitable for best fit solution for this problem which is being faced by the public. So for which, in fact, what are the things we need to utilize? What is the technology we need to use? What are the other sources we need to use? Like that, we can use the proper technology and other sources to solve the issue. Once we feel that the issue is being solved, we need to go for testing. That is very important. And again, retesting, because sometimes it may fail. And because whatever we feel that it is a solution, it may not be fit all the times. Sometimes it may fail. Again, you go for retesting. In case you require, you need to go for alterations. Like that, you go for testing, retesting and all. Then we will need to optimize which is the best solution. Once you optimize the solution, which is you feel that it is really the best solution for the problem, then we go for survey. We should go for survey. We should go for some sort of sample activities, whether the customers are being satisfied with the solution, which is being developed as a drug or medicine, whatever it may be. Apart from the customer, consumers, the real consumer satisfaction is very, very important. We need to understand the differentiation between the customer and consumer. All the customers may not be consumers, but of course, all consumers must also be satisfied. That is a very important aspect as far as this kind of startup things are concerned. Once we feel that our customers and consumers are absolutely getting satisfied, then we need to go for commercialization. Because commercialization is very, very important, which does require this proper identification of the market, marketing, and best selling, and which leads to our economic growth. So like that, we need to augment this kind of design thinking approach, which is very much important to develop the ecosystem in HEIs. So these are some important aspects which can really augment the ecosystem in institutions. Let us say, for example, this is the startup ecosystem we need to have. These are all the important things what we need to concentrate here. Let us say, for example, this is an academic institution. This is an academic ecosystem. And this is the startup ecosystem. And this startup ecosystem is being influenced by all these things like academic organizations, investors and industry experts, the designers, and the startup associations. There will be a lot of associations also, and the corporates, industries, and government policies, regulations. These are all, in fact, real things which can augment the ecosystem. Yes. Now, whatever we discussed up to this particular point, these are all very important things to nurture the importance as far as the startup ecosystem development is concerned in institutions. Now here, let us see how in fact we can achieve our problem. And once we achieve our problem, how we will develop the solution which is really fit. And once your solution is fit, how that particular solution or product is really a market fit. So let's have a glance here. What we exactly call a problem. Of course, we all know any unwanted matter or any unwanted situation which is needed to be dealt at as quick as possible to avoid harmful impact. Any disease, any disorder, which we feel that may be communicated disease or non-communicated disease, which must be pacified as early as possible. That is, we call a problem. And of course, if you look at these problems, we can consider them into three different areas, like simple, intermediate, and complex problems. Simple problems in the sense, let us say, for example, we already identified the particular problem, which does require only simple aspects. I mean to say, no extension of activities are required to solve this problem issue. One can easily handle without any kind of complications. without involvement of any other bodies, that we can consider as a simple problem. Let us say, for example, any common disease, which may be a routine, as generally everyone face, we can suggest a medicine, we can prepare a medicine, we can prepare a drug, something like that. And because the process is already existed, and it doesn't require much involvement from other bodies. That is very simple. Next one, intermediate problem. Intermediate problem in the sense, these are sometimes, if you look at this kind of problems, they does require economic involvement and of course humanistic involvement. That means sometimes, though we know that a particular thing or a particular issue can be solved by a suitable procedure, and on our own we cannot solve it. It does require some economic involvement, and of course it requires some more people to involve. So these kind of things we generally fall as intermediate problems. And of course, sometimes we will also have very complex problems, like they do require economic involvement, humanistic involvement, and of course, political involvement also. Like, let us say, for example, the development of vaccines. It requires a lot of economy. And many people will have to work on this, many scientists and their assistants. Though we provide the economy, though many people are working here, though we develop this thing, and it does require a proper permissions from the government authorities and other people also involved in this. So light of even political involves are also required sometimes. These are complex problems. Like that, we need to see whether our problem is simple one, intermediate one, or complex one. Like that, first of all, we need to see what kind of problem we have on which, in fact, we need to provide solution. Once we identify the problem, then we go for providing the solution. That means the problem is achieved. Now we need to go for getting a solution which is properly fit to solve that issue. This is the very, very important step to get best fit solution for the identified problem. That means we need to generate the best solution which really fits to that problem. This is very important step. How to get this kind of solution? This is what the real pathway for getting a solution. First of all, as I already told, we need to exactly identify the problem. Exactly identify what is the real issue on which, in fact, we should focus. Second one, we need to analyze that problem, how this problem is being focused, how this problem is being erased, what are the real reasons behind this problem. That is what the analysis of the problem. And once we analyze this problem, we need to clearly define the problem. Define the problem in the sense, that's what in fact we call description of problem. That means we can define that problem. Yes, this is the problem or this is the issue. We need to define like that. So for getting the best definition of the problem, we need to properly analyze. Once you define this problem, then we should identify the root cause responsible for this particular issue. That is what the recognition of root cause. That means once we identify the roots, we will easily get the best solutions. That's what simply we can also call, in other words, root cause analysis. So once we have the roots, once we know the root causes for this issue, then we'll have ideation, then we'll have brainstorming, so that we'll get a lot of possible solutions. That's what we call as developing set of solutions. Though we have different kinds of solutions, some of these solutions are best solutions. That means they may be economically viable, they are best suited, and the customers and the consumers are best satisfied with that solution. So that is why we need to select the best solution and we need to implement that solution. And once we apply that solution, we need to go for the measuring the results. Like we need to go for surveys and we need to collect the feedbacks from the customers and consumers. Then obviously we will go for the best thing by which in fact we can we can fix which is the best solution. And that is how once we identify this kind of what you call this feedback and surveys and all, based on this, we will fix which is the best solution. This is how in fact we can identify the best solution, which solution is really fit to that problem. So these are the fundamental important aspects to know our solution is fit to that problem or not. This is the real 8-step process. Yes. Problem solution fit. This is what in fact we're already telling. It is the stage where we exactly able to prove that the problem is really existing and it is classified. And another thing is that we say that this problem solution, the solution for this identified problem is fit if this proposed solution is of great value, which can really address the identified specific health issue of the public or any individual. And another important thing is our product or our solution which we produced is getting better survival because of acceptance of the public. These are all very important steps. Or else we should not say that our solution is fit to that problem. And we need to go for surveys and all, and we will get a lot of insights. And before we are providing a solution, we say that and we feel that yes, this is the real solution which can really root out that problem. So that is our expectation before we use this particular solution. But once we apply, once it is being used by the customers or the consumers, they also feel the same. If you conduct the surveys and all, we're also getting the same kind of insights. Then we feel that that solution is fit to that problem. So these are all very, very important steps to see that our solution is fit to that particular problem. That is why, in fact, the sample vaccination, sample medication, these are all coming under this kind of checking whether the solution fit is existing or not for that particular problem. That is the reason, as and when we just have a kind of the collection of the vaccines and all, and every time they will go for some sort of this kind of the sample vaccination and random vaccination, and they will get the feedback and they will see whether it is being worked along without their expectations and all. So once it is working along as per their expectations, then only they can finalize this one. So that is what important aspect as far as problem solution fit is concerned. And product market fit. Yes, we developed a solution, whether maybe in vaccine or medicine, something else. And yes, it is proved that the solution is also best fit. And that product or solution, whether is it market fit or not? This is the very importance. What is the importance of this particular market fit? It is very, very important behind the success of any business, because any startup or any entrepreneurship activity is not being happening only just because of time pass or fun. So a lot of economic expectations are also involved here, along with their challenges. So that is why whether it is market viable or not, that's what we call market fit. We feel that it is market fit Or if it is market fit, it confirms the market demand of the product. That means we developed a solution and product. It has a lot of demand in the market. If it is really fit, then we say that it is market fit. And it makes us to know public are really ready to afford to get this particular product in the market. And of course, it also makes us to know our product also compete with other existing products in the market. Don't feel that only we are the people who are providing solutions. There are so many things. Like, say, for example, very recent aspects like vaccine, Covishield, so many vaccines. Every product will have their own market. So like that, for every health resort or something like that, there are so many companies, so many pharmaceutical industries, they will develop different kind of products. And once we start a particular product, it will also work along with that other product. So how best it is there and how it is working, and once the other products also existed in this kind of market, whether it is being competed with that market and it is standing in the market, that is another important. Once it stands along with other products, existing projects, then only we call that it is market fit. And it makes us to know how it is rated when compared to other alternative products. That means how the people are feeling once they take our medicine or product or vaccine, something like that, how they really feel, how they compare when compared to the other existing product. So these are all very important things to consider as far as the market fit of the product is concerned. Yes, how in fact we can judge that our product is really a market fit. Once we identify a specific need in the market, it should provide a highly customized and safe solution to that particular need. This is very important. It should not yield to any kind of side effects, something like that. The solution of the product, whatever we designed and we just given into the market, it should get attracted by the customers and they repeatedly want to purchase as and when they require. And if it is happening, then we say that our product is market fit. And we feel that this product is market fit if it is placed in good market and the customers are satisfied for that. Good market in the sense, a market is considered as the good market when there are a lot of products are available. Along with them, we're also placing our product. It is a very healthy competition where in fact our product is being standing. So this is what we call the good market competency. So we feel that our product is market fit if our product is placed along with other products. And another important thing is, though there are a number of other products, our product should have the best market demand. And we do confirm that this product is really market fit if the evidences are happening regarding the actual values and desired gains of the customers without harming, without having any kind of other impacts, and they should feel that this particular product is really helping us. So if the people are feeling like that, then we say that our product is really market fit. So once our solution is fit, and if all these constraints are happening, then that solution or product is also called as market fit. So this is one of the best pictorial representations I'm giving you here. The product market fit typical graph. Let us say, for example, there was some issue. There was some health disorder. For the same disorder, two products were developed. One is being rated this particular blue is product A, and this is the product B. Green one is product B. And its activity and this fitment is given as a pictorial representation on the y-axis, and how best this product is active, how on the x-axis the time period. At first, both the things are having 100% genuinity, 100% acceptance. Because once we release a new product, obviously it will have a lot of impact and a lot of attraction. But slowly, the public will have different opinions on this. So if you look at this particular product A, if you look at this product A and product B, this product A, the satisfaction is slowly coming down like this. But the product B is continuously getting down. It continuously getting down in the sense, after some time, it has come to zero level. But if you look at this kind of the product A, it has come to some extent down, but after some time, it stood like standing. That means the public, based on the different conditions after time zones, the public aspirations will be changed, and they feel comfort with this kind of product, so that this product A has been sustained, and there was no decline as far as this kind of utilization is concerned. So we feel that product A is best product market fit when compared to product B, because though they started at best, the product B could not satisfy all the time, but product A, though there were some sort of fluctuations on the time, and however, it was able to have its own stand in the market. So this is the good market constraint, and we feel that product A is the best market fit product. This is one of the just simple. I'm not taking any product as an example, because I don't want to mention the products names and all. It is sometimes it happens. There are so many things happen like this, because earlier whatever the medicines we used, they are not available now. But some medicines which have been started earlier, they are continuously being used, and even the doctors and all, they prescribe the same even after some more years also. So many things happen like that. So this is a typical pictorial representation of how our product is market fit. So to summing up, this is we can say in three ways. The problem solution fit is nothing but the best identification of public typical health issues or disorders, and to provide a solution or any kind of product like a vaccine, medicine, drug, whatever it may be, which has having the value proposition. Simply, we can define this problem solution fit like this. And the product or the solution here becomes product is market fit if the public give best response to our product and creates best demand in the market. And over to this problem solution fit and market fit, business model fit. Though it is market fit, this is the business model fit. It suits best business model, which is scalable and profitable. This is the business model fit. So the product market fit can be considered as the business model fit if it is highly profitable. So this is to summing up regarding this kind of achieving problem solution fit, product market fit. So friends, so this is the topic for discussion on achieving problem solution fit and market. And once again, I thank both the organizations, Guide School of Pharmacy, and in particular, Center for Skill Development, and where I am a part of these kind of activities, to give this opportunity to interact with this kind of organizations, Guide School of Pharmacy.